Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You are watching Wrestling Villa. I am PD Savage. That is the Gobbledygooker. It's Cobb. And we're
No.
going to talk about War Games.
Oh man, what a show it was yesterday. That was absolutely insane. This is going up on Monday, by the way, but we are recording this on Sunday night.
It was a great show from start to finish. Some big surprises.
3 big returns in one night, and only one of them was advertised.
And we'll get into it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil anything. We will get into it.
All right, so what's up first?
Well, first off, I just wanted to say thank God Corey Graves is back. He was off SmackDown for 2 weeks. You really don't realize how good Corey Graves is until he's gone. And yeah, they plugged him with Kevin Owens. They plugged him with Road Dogg. But, man, Corey Graves is so damn good. So welcome back, Gravy Baby. But first match.
He's underrated.
Oh, yeah. Him and Michael Cole are seriously this era's Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler.
Absolutely.
All right, so the show kicked off with the women's War Games match. The siren started at the beginning. What'd you think?
Dude, I know I texted you during the show, but like before we get too deep into it, the Japanese women wrestling like scene is outstanding, and all 3 of them were on fire all throughout the match.
No, they all did tremendous. Maybe the first time that they've been on the same team in a War Games match, or even ever. Last year, Asuka opposed Io Sky.
That is right. I forgot about that. I think they mentioned that they teamed together in Stardom or something on commentary.
Maybe.
Michael Cole was throwing out like all kinds of references to other wrestling companies and everything last night. It was kind of insane.
No, I really liked the intro. I love the matching gear for Bianca and them. I thought maybe
I was thinking Damage Control. They looked sick.
Well, I'm going with what came out first.
Okay.
Bianca's team came out first, so great gear. Charlotte Flair had that pink, that bright pink with a light pink inside. It reminded me of Ric Flair's Taboo Tuesday robe. I'm not sure why that's what clicked.
Okay.
But Ric Flair had that really, really bright pink, like hot neon pink boa around the edge of his Taboo Tuesday. I just thought that was kind of good reminiscence of that. Was it ominous that Becky Lynch wasn't matching them?
Yeah.
Or is she not a pink kind of gal?
I think she's not a pink gal, but she also doesn't seem to be too much of a team player. I think she's one of the only people in the whole entire match that has not held the women's tag team titles. I could be wrong. That was just like a thought right now. I didn't like write that down beforehand.
Shotzi.
Yeah. Or yeah, you might be right about that.
She might have held the NXT women's tag titles.
Shotzi.
How about her and Raquel? With her and Raquel, maybe?
We'll see. Keep it going.
But no, I thought that it was fantastic. Becky and Bayley started it. They have chemistry. 2 of the 4 horsewomen, sorry. They really just show that they are so experienced.
Yes.
Shotzi came in third. Shotzi was number 3 in. What did you think of Shotzi?
I like Shotzi. I don't really have a problem with her, but I would agree in what you said last night. She seemed out of place as far as the athleticism goes between all of the contestants. And I don't watch every single episode. I do like to have some sort of a life, but I didn't feel like she was the piece that needed to be included. I don't know who I would have replaced her with, but that's just kind of what I thought about it.
Unlike you, I don't have a life, and I do watch just about every episode. and Shotzi seemed unmatching. I'm a big Shotzi fan. I liked her before she signed to WWE. I watched her in Evolve. My kids love Shotzi.
I saw her on Tough Enough, if that counts.
There you go. I just think that she was very unmatched in this competition of War Games. Out of the 8 women in the ring, I think she was definitely the greenest of all, and it really showed.
Yes.
And speaking of not so green in War Games matches, 4th was Io Sky.
Oh.
And did you catch what Michael Cole said on commentary about Io and War Games?
24 hours later, I have no idea what he said.
He said that was Io's 5th War Games match, and she has more War Games matches than anyone on the current WWE roster.
Really?
Really?
Has she really been in all of them?
She was in 3 in NXT, and last year and this year.
Holy crap.
So Io is a War Games vet.
And then what are the chances we see the same exact spot that she did? I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago with the trash can off the top of the cage.
That
had to be an NXT, I think.
It was NXT. I want to say I just watched it recently. 2019 maybe? 2020?
Wow. Okay.
Yep, hey, I'm Io Sky, welcome to Jackass.
Yeah.
Garbage can over the head and jumps right off.
That's not the only person that jumped off. We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, yeah. Up next was Bianca. And what did you think of the dual braid? Going double Dutch on her head.
Well, I think the dual braid is just the major flag that that's not her real hair. If you can duplicate a braid that long overnight. Also, I don't know what her hair is like supposed to kayfabe be, but she smacks the living heck out of people with her hair. They literally, like, I think Michael Cole has compared it to a bullwhip before, and
Yes.
I don't, was it Sasha that she got popped by the hair, and it just like immediate welt like that long across her like midsection. Oh man,
I mean, in those spots, it's just like hitting someone with a bull whip or a belt. Even you try to hit the mat first and then hit the body, but that doesn't always work. That doesn't, like everything else. There's mistakes, and sometimes it hits the body first, and I'm not sure what hers is made of.
I don't know if it's piped in, but how they get that whip sound every single time.
Those microphones really pick up a lot.
I haven't been to like a Bianca match in person where she's whipped somebody, so like I'd like to know what it's like actually there.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of Bianca matches in person, but none that she actually used her hair as a foreign object.
And I wonder if you heard it, because I remember I texted you and I said, holy crap, this crowd is hot. And this is the women's match. And this is the first match on the card. Normally the crowd is kind of hyped for the first match, but they were like, you thought it was the main event and like WrestleMania stakes were on the line.
I mean, it's Chicago. Chicago is a hot crowd.
Still, though.
And those women were delivering. And luckily they were delivering, because Chicago will take over an event in a heartbeat. They could have been chanting CM Punk or AJ Lee or Bill Clinton. Like, they could have chanted anything if they didn't like that. And it would have just taken over the whole show.
We need a Bill Clinton chant now at the next Chicago event.
I'm pretty sure that would happen more in like Arkansas. I don't think they're huge Clinton fans in Chicago. But I know in Arkansas they love Billy. Next in was Kairi Sane. Oh man, I popped him.
Kairi was on fire as well. Like I said, the Japanese wrestling women are just, there's something else. Like a couple of my other buddies are like really high on women's Japanese wrestlers, and I'm like, yeah, they're cool and all, but like when they turn it up, and they can't, like, nothing compares to them. They're on a whole other level when they want to be.
in Japan, it's not like in America where they get these equal chances. It's really like they wrestle men, they get their ass kicked. Like the men treat them as an equal.
I've seen
I've
Asuka
seen
videos.
videos of it. Yeah, the Yasuka video. So these women have no choice but to really turn it up. If I cross paths with a Kairi Sane and she wanted my wallet, she would have my wallet.
Yep,
And she
it'd
would
be
kick
hers.
my ass.
Yep.
And then last for the babyface team was the Queen, Charlotte Flair.
Not last.
She was
Becky
last
was
on the
after her.
babyface team. You are
Becky
right.
was after her.
No, Becky was first, son.
Oh, Becky was
Becky
first.
Bailey
Oh,
started it.
wow, I'm way off. You're right. I'm
I
kind of
guess you
just
can edit that part out.
I'm just I'm not feeling it with Charlotte anymore. I guess there's so many hot new shiny toys between the rehires and people coming up out of nowhere from the main roster, and that's not even accounting for NXT talent, which like people seem to be learning at like a very accelerated rate there and no signs of slowing down. Charlotte doesn't do it for me anymore.
I think the biggest problem for me is she's always gone. And when she comes back, she's always right back in the main event picture.
She's female Brock. Except Brock
Yeah.
feels like an attraction, whereas Charlotte is. You can
We'll call her full-time Ronda.
Okay.
Like that's what Ronda did, but Ronda was more part-time, and but Ronda was a mainstream attraction.
Right.
Charlotte's athleticism is really unmatched, though. You love her, you hate her, and I'm not a Charlotte fan. I've never.
No, I don't like her or Rick. You know that.
Exactly. I'm just not a Flair kind of person. But I can't deny her skill. She wasn't 20 when she started. She was in her 30s when she started. And she's just so damn good.
Yeah. And I guess that leads up to her taking a moonsault off the top of the cage. And I know I texted you and I don't know what I said exactly, but she clocked the living heck out of Kairi Sane in the back of the head with her knee on the way down.
I remember texting. I said, "Wow, the form was perfect, but she overshot it a little bit. Like I thought she was going to clear the entire crowd, and yeah, she hit Kairi in the back of the head of the kneecap." And then she like almost landed it. Like I thought she was gonna break both of her knees. Like that's how you tear an ACL.
Yeah.
Man.
Also, another little side note, I noticed this in the press conference after. I think Charlotte, and this is gonna sound bad, and I'm gonna sound probably like a terrible person. She is getting in Natalya territory when it comes to like facial reconstruction. If you go back and watch the press conference, she looks like the display teeth you see at the dentist on the table, and there's just like a face around it. Like it looked fake. It looked too perfect.
Yeah, and the cheekbone just keeps getting higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
But then the last woman into the match was the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka.
Asuka's growing on me. I don't know why. I don't know what the heck she's saying because she's always so wired up. But it's hard not to like her, honestly. I think if they could turn Bailey or Dakota into a full-blown I guess a manager that wrestles, but like more so a mouthpiece for them, you could have something really special with all three of those.
And that's what they tried doing with Paige and Asuka and Kairi Sane when they were the Kabuki Warriors.
Oh, you're right.
And it was very short-lived.
I do know since Dakota actually was in Stardom for a few years, I would assume she knows some Japanese, and she seems to click pretty well with Io. But I don't know. I mean, it's just hopeful thinking, I guess.
Yeah, Asuka gets in and she uses a blue mist, and she got shot to your right, direct hit with that blue mist.
So what was that pink stuff dripping down from Shotzi's face later in the match? Did you not notice that?
I did not.
Because I thought Asuka had the blue mist as well, because it's what she's been using. But like later, it's like right at the end of the match, Shotzi, or like 5 minutes before it ends, Shotzi has like pink liquid dripping from her face.
Well, I didn't see that. I know Asuka went for the mist for second time, and Bianca sprayed her in the face with a fire extinguisher as a kind of a reversal to the mist.
Maybe she had
I
a
thought that was
pink
interesting. Maybe I don't know. One note that I took and I really liked was getting Dakota involved a little bit.
Yep.
Io lowered that chain and they hooked that trash can up. I thought that was kind of I don't know if I want to say intuitive, but I liked it. I thought it was a little weird because they brought a trash can in, but I don't know why you needed 2 trash cans.
It's WarGames. You can have what you want.
It's just kind of a weird spot. And how big was that garbage can lid that Kairi Sane brought in? Like, that was a massive garbage can lid.
Is that the spot where she just like spins around and it looks like Captain America just whacking someone in the lid with the?
It was like the size of like her from her waist to her face. Like, it was huge.
Yeah.
And Michael Cole said it was a trash can lid. What? And I'm like, trash can lid or flying saucer? Like, what the hell is that?
I legit, like I said, I thought it was Captain America's shield just out of nowhere, and it was like a spinning back fist almost, like UFC style, but with trash can lid right here.
Yeah, it was wild. Another spot that I really liked when they chained Becky and Bianca together. Was it Becky and Bianca? Yeah, they chained Becky and Bianca together, and they went to that 4-way drop kick. I thought that was very creative.
Becky, I don't remember who it was, but Becky got drilled on her left cheek in that drop kick.
Yeah.
That was.
And I know Corey Graves mentioned it. Bayley was definitely the defensive MVP of that match.
Really?
There were like 3 near falls in a row. There was a submission, pinfall. Bayley saved all of them back to back to back. It was phenomenal.
I'm just wondering when Bayley is going to be considered not the weak link of the 4 horsewomen. She's proved herself with character work. Now she's doing the stuff with the team and everything. I don't know what it's going to take for her to not be considered the weak link.
The problem is Sasha Banks has this armor around her that no one can say anything bad about Sasha Banks or they get attacked. And then the other 2 are Charlotte, who's at 14 championships now, 13, it's up there.
Yeah.
And Becky Lynch.
I still think I told you about this all the time. I still think Becky might be the biggest mainstream women's star.
100%, absolutely.
Not even close.
Now I want to say she was the first one in the $1 million contract for the women. That's saying something.
That does make sense.
But yeah, the match finished with that manhandle slam. Becky Lynch laid Bayley out through the table, and Bayley took the pinfall.
Yeah, which I don't think it really. I mean, it fits Bayley's character.
No, yeah, definitely. But are we going to see a little turncoat? Are we going to see the others blame Bayley for that loss? And I mean, the groundwork has been laid, and they were like kind of foreshadowing.
Yeah, you got a point there.
And she's the one that lost it for the team. Are they going to take it out on her on Friday night? Food for thought.
Yeah, you got a point. And going back to one thing you mentioned earlier, I do like the fact that because when people are injured, they seem to be just forgotten. But them keeping Dakota on TV is such a big win for her. And it helps with the team because, I mean, if you're going to have a team, like you don't have to have every person in the match. I mean, look at the NWO. 90% of them weren't in the matches. They're just there.
Or even New Day. New Day did the same thing.
Rhea's always in the shadows, even for the men's matches.
Yep. No, I think it's very smart to keep her relevant. because she leaves, and then by the time she comes back, damage control might not even be a thing. And then she's kind of lost in the shuffle. So it's very
Whereas if
smart
there's
to
a
keep her.
split now, she's actively involved. She might not be taking bumps or doing drop kicks or anything, but she is actively involved.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I would say that match, I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
I'm with you.
100%.
100%.
I really think Shotzi just wasn't. She was the weak link in the match.
Who would you replace her with?
That's hard because I don't know of anyone that would really make sense on SmackDown to replace her.
Unless Becky got help from someone she worked in NXT recently. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
But like, was Lyra and Tiffany Stratton? Like, I don't think either one of them would be better than Shotzi.
No,
I would think maybe like a Mia Yim. Mia Yim did good last year in WarGames. Or you know what?
Or someone with like a go ahead.
Ivy Nile.
Yeah, because the Creeds were called up.
Yep. It wouldn't make sense. The logistics wouldn't match up for storytelling. But I think that Ivy Nile would do great in a WarGames match. She is so physical.
Well, I was thinking about somebody or two people with like a hardcore background being like Cora Jade and Gigi.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of spots. Have them there.
Yes, but and I don't want to sound I don't want people to kill me on this one, but Gigi gets sloppy in the ring.
Yes, I'll agree.
Gigi is very sloppy in the ring, and WarGames is not the type of match to get sloppy.
You got a point.
And Cora Jade is just too green.
Yeah.
She'd be exposed for a rookie, definitely, in that match.
It'd be nice to have somebody like Dewdrop in there, but Piper, but it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Or even Alba Fire, again, wouldn't make sense.
Ooh. Now that's an idea. But that's a freaking idea.
Maybe like taking one without the other, like you need two spots. So it just
replace Shotzi with Alba Fire, have Isla Dawn on the outside, just like Damage Control had Dakota.
Yeah, there you go. Or just not have Becky in the match. Becky was.
You gotta have Becky on the show,
but she wasn't on SmackDown. They pulled her from Raw. It didn't really make sense. Oh, you're gonna make the phone call? Like it was.
That's true.
If you would have had Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, it just would have made sense.
Yeah, you got a point there.
But would Isla Dawn kind of be in the same spot as Shotzi is?
That's why I was saying have her on the outside.
Yeah, so I can see. I can agree with that. But yeah, good match. Before we get to Gunther and The Miz, the Intercontinental title match, there was a little segment backstage with Alpha Academy and Tozawa eating some Ruffles chips. Like you, had Piper and Chelsea Green eating some chips as well. And then we saw the return.
The first return of the night.
The first return of the night of the legend, R-Truth.
Gotta love R-Truth, honestly. And then Triple H even referenced it in the press conference. He's like, I know everybody's talking about it. The return of R-Truth.
Yep. R-Truth is a national treasure. And he dubbed Tozawa's signature dance the Ruffle Shuffle.
The Ruffle Shuffle.
Tozawa
seems to be having a freaking blast now.
He is. And you can tell he's having fun with it. He's on TV every week. And I have nothing bad to say about this segment. I usually don't really like those segments, just almost like a commercial. But R-Truth makes everything so much better.
You take everybody that's likable and you put them in one segment. Like, even though they're heels, people love Pretty Deadly because they're obnoxious heels and they're good at it. You put R-Truth in there. He's comedic. He's hilarious. Everybody loves him. You throw the entirety of Alpha Academy. Everybody out there is respecting Chad Gable nowadays. Maxine Dupree is training like nobody would believe. on the fly and doing phenomenal. And then Otis is always reliable in the ring, and people respect him, and he's comedic. You're gonna have a good segment. It doesn't seem to be. You would think like it can't be that hard, but they make it harder than it has to be sometimes. But this was everything it needed to be.
Yeah, it was a knockout. It was great. Welcome back, R-Truth. He was out for a full year with that. Was it a quad tear?
It was something like that.
I know it was NXT. I want to say it was shortly after Halloween Havoc last year. So it looks like it's been a full year since we've seen R-Truth. So welcome back.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because I remember he came out dressed up a couple weeks after Halloween Havoc, like, "Hey guys, I'm here," and they're like, "That was last week, Truth." So yeah, I remember. So does Pepperidge Farm. All right, that leads us to the Intercontinental title match: Gunther versus The Miz. Give it to me. What are your thoughts? Such an odd matchup.
I could have lived without this match. I know I told you I think Miz got too much offense, but then again, on paper, Miz is like a future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest Intercontinental champions you could argue of all time. It makes sense for him to get so much offense, but with the record of Gunther ever since he signed to NXT UK, it was a little. I know you got to suspend belief in wrestling to have fun with it in the first place, but it seemed to be a little too out there. I could have lived without the match. They did good, though. I mean, what do you expect from two of the safer workers in the ring?
Yeah. The reason why I think that you made a comment about Miz being too offensive, not offensive, offensive. We're not used to Miz being a babyface. He's always been the cowardly heel. He's always backing up. He's always running away. The babyface can't back up. They can't run away. So you have the Miz, who's now on the offense. It seems funny. He used that veteran status, working on that leg of Gunther, doing that ring post figure four leg lock that Bret Hart used to do.
Yeah.
He even tried pinning Gunther, like Bret Hart got that Intercontinental title win over Roddy Piper at SummerSlam 92, 91.
I'll take your word for it on that one.
It was 91 or 92. It was launched yourself into the turnbuckle backwards, and it was like a defensive pin.
Gotcha. Once again, going back to, it's weird seeing him on offense.
He even hit that satellite DDT.
Yeah.
That's not a Miz move. Like, if you'd have asked me at 8 o'clock yesterday, does Mike Mizanin know how to do a satellite DDT? I'd be like, probably not. I would have been wrong.
He probably knows how to do it. He just doesn't do it because correct me here. Has he never been injured, or did he have like the most minor little injury where he missed a couple years ago?
He has never had a serious injury in all of his time.
He's been wrestling since what, 05? Because he debuted in 06.
Yeah, probably 05. So almost 20 years. No major injuries.
And he doesn't injure anybody.
He's safe.
I mean, he's worked several programs with Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler is very injury prone. I hate to say it. I love Dolph Ziggler, but Miz was good all throughout it.
And like you said, you didn't really need the match. I didn't need the match either. I'm glad it happened. Going in, I'm like, oh, there's no way that The Miz has a chance with Gunther.
Right.
And little by little, you start having a little bit more belief in The Miz. Kind of like Chad Gable. Like, no one thought he was going to win. And at the end, they're like, oh, man, Chad Gable might win. Yeah. The Miz working on that leg and then hits him with that low blow. I'm like, wow, Miz might just do it. But then Gunther puts him with the Boston Crab, and Miz.
It's over.
A very, very. Usually tap out's like, and Miz is just like, oh, I don't want to tap out, but here you go. But yeah, good match. I mean, any match with Gunther and The Miz, they're just so good.
It's what you would expect.
Definitely. The third match. I was disappointed in this match. Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar.
You know, I completely forgot it was on the card, and I was confused because I remember the other matches. That one I didn't. No, you and I, we've talked about it before, are massive NXT fans. So we've loved Santos for a long time. And in the short time he's been there, we've loved Dragon Lee. Very entertaining. You put two luchadors in the ring compared to the WWE style, you would think you're in for a freaking treat. And it was kind of a dud. And I hate to say that because I want Santos's push to go somewhere because it should. But it was like, it didn't have any excitement from what we expect. Maybe my expectations were too high.
And that's what I was thinking too. Like I was expecting more like a Lucha Brothers style match. Like
I was expecting lots of spots. Ricochet Will Ospreay match.
Yeah, like I was expecting lots of spots. On one hand, I can see why they didn't want to do that on WarGames because then you're kind of taken away from the excitement of the WarGames matches. I just thought it was really weird switching up the match at the last minute and putting Dragon Lee in there. I don't know why they didn't put someone else from the LWO. Like Santos just attacked Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro. Like, why not put one of them in there? It was just a weird situation.
And then everybody was excited as heck to see Carlito in the ring again, but I got yanked immediately.
Yeah. So I'm not too sure what's going on with that. I think we'll see Santos and Dragon Lee feud continue. The rumors are some call-ups from NXT, Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza siding with Santos. So seeing them.
We'll see.
Joaquin and Cruz and Dragon Lee versus the three of them. We shall see where that goes. But yeah, it's just kind of very flat match for me.
I agree. I was kind of disappointed, but I will admit my expectations were way higher. So maybe that's on me.
Definitely. And then the second to last match was the only other title match on the card other than Intercontinental was the women's heavyweight championship match, which was Rhea Ripley versus the underdog Zoe Stark.
This one had its moments, but I'd say overall it fell flat to me too. Maybe I'm still on the high from because all three matches in between the WarGames matches felt flat to me. And maybe I was just on such a high from the first match and so much anticipation for the last match. I don't know. Maybe I don't feel like I can make a fair judgment on it. I love Rhea Ripley. Zoe Stark is very solid in the ring. It didn't scratch the itch that I was hoping it would.
So for me, I think this is my problem with this match. Rhea Ripley has been so damn dominant that putting Zoe Stark against her, yeah, Zoe's a scrapper. She's a fighter. But the size difference alone, like, Rhea's going to kill her, and Rhea killed her.
Yeah.
My favorite part of this match was Luna Vachon homage that Rhea Ripley portrayed. She had the messed makeup.
Rhea tries to have a completely unique look every single time.
Yeah, and what was it? Was it SummerSlam where she did the China throwback gear? I think it was SummerSlam.
I'll look and see. I know what you're talking about.
I just love how she's paying homage to the badass women that came before her. But yeah, the braid, the hair up on that one side, the messy makeup like Luna did.
People were saying it was Payback.
Maybe it's Payback. I know it's pretty recent.
Payback, where she had the Beatles haircut. And yeah.
Yep. So yeah, might have been Payback. Yeah, that might have made sense. Regardless, I just love that she's paying homage to the women that came before her. That's not very common in women's wrestling. It's very common in men's. You see that all the time, but I love seeing it with Rhea. They just need to they need to figure out a way to make Rhea's feuds believable.
Who's
Because
gonna
they're
beat
just
her? Nobody
exactly.
makes sense except for Becky or Charlotte, and I don't think people they might want to see Becky. I don't think they want to see Charlotte though.
I think we're just gonna have to wait until Jade is ready, and that's who will dethrone Rhea Ripley. I think.
So you're thinking they're gonna put Jade Cargill in the same exact spot that they put Chris Statlander in against Jade? You just wait till she's ready and she comes in, dominates, wins the title, and then goes on her own thing?
I don't think it's gonna be like a quick domination. I think it's gonna be.
I mean, it's gonna probably be a brawl,
I think
but
it'd be a feud. I don't think it'd be like a quick spot.
you think she might lose? Jade might lose her first match then?
No. I think I don't want to say a feud. I think there's gonna be a feud after that match, but I think there's gonna be build up.
Gotcha. Okay.
And maybe Jade wins the Rumble. Maybe that's how she gets it. Or maybe they save it until Money in the Bank. Let Jade win Money in the Bank.
That'd fit her character really well.
It would.
Did Sasha ever win Money in the Bank?
No.
Because that would have fit her character. Anyway, that's a story for another day.
Yeah. And then the main event of the night, the men's WarGames match.
Oh, yeah, you got to do the ruffle shuffle to that one.
Yes. I'm not doing any dancing, though. I am doing the ruffle shuffle mentally.
I bet you are.
That's my ruffle shuffle. I just had some ruffles before we started filming. That's really bad in sound quality.
Oh.
All right. So this match starts with Finn Balor and Seth Rollins.
I love it. I liked Finn in NXT, and then he kind of fell flat for me. And then him in Judgment Day has just been a new beast, and I'm ready for it. Like I told you before, I wish he would have beat Seth a couple months ago for the title.
Yeah, I was worried that he wasn't going to do good as a heel because he's been a babyface for so long in WWE. I know he was a heel in New Japan, but that's a whole different machine than the USA.
I agree.
But he did good. He did very good. I think it really helped that he turned on Edge to join the Judgment. I think that really gave him a initial heel status.
Absolutely.
But Finn and Seth definitely tore it up. Those two can wrestle for hours, and I would just keep watching.
Like I said, it's what you would expect from them in the best ways. Not like a dig or anything.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then 5 minutes comes up, and JD McDonough joins the fight.
JD. JD hasn't done it for me yet. And that's between the UK, the NXT, and now main roster. He hasn't hit it for me yet. I know once he does, it'll be great, but he is the weakest link of Judgment Day right now because everybody else is just leaps and bounds above him. Not as far as in-ring work, as far as just like overall presentation.
Yeah, JD definitely lacks charisma. Where everyone else in Judgment Day oozes charisma.
Yeah, exactly.
His in-ring style, like he's there. He's very exciting to watch in the ring. He showed it last night or Saturday night at WarGames. He has the ability in ring, but he's very bland.
And I hate to say it, but he's been called his whole career Finn Balor light. That's what he is.
Yes. But it's good to see him come in second for the Judgment Day. That way him and Finn Balor Sr. and Finn Balor Jr. can have a little tag team time. Throw back to the homeland.
I don't know if I'm just tired or what, because I can see the bags under my eyes, and yes, they are Gucci, but I'm just like anytime you throw a little joke out there, like You're right, and that's all I can do is just laugh. Finn Balor Jr. and Finn Balor Sr. That's what it is.
And then 5 minutes passes, and we got main event Jey Uso.
How about the crowd for Jey Uso during his entrance? And he hopped on top of the holding cell, whatever it's called, the shark cage.
Yeah.
The crowd, there wasn't a soul out there that didn't have their hand going up and down with Jey in his entrance. And I was like, this is a twin brother that everybody said they're tag team for life. And here you are. One of them is one of the hottest baby faces in the company, and the other one's barely on TV. Like, imagine how Jimmy feels. Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yep. So there are 3 wrestlers that come to mind that can get 4 letters over. Stone Cold. What?
Oh, I hate that one.
LA Knight. Yeah. Jey Uso. Yeet.
Yeet.
Yeet was completely accidental, but it
A drunken
launched.
Press conference.
It launched him. And it really, those 4 letters have launched him to be connectable with the crowd.
And his character work, his facial expressions, like he just gets it. He's very animated without being hokey.
Well, like Cody Rhodes says in his entrance, there's more than one royal family in wrestling. Jey Uso comes from a royal wrestling family.
Yep.
Or dynasty, you can say.
Yeah, honestly.
But Jey Uso is phenomenal. He's getting better every single day. And
he belongs where he is on the card.
The crowd loves him. Up next, Damian Priest came out. I'll let you. What are your thoughts? I have my thoughts, but I'll let you explain.
Priest is having the run of his career, and he's in better shape and better athletic than ever before. But I could deal without this whole "who's the leader of Judgment Day" thing. I don't want that. They were so good as a cohesive unit. Like, they kind of had the New Day thing going on. You don't worry about who the leader of the New Day is. They're just together. That's all it is. You don't have to have a designated leader. So that's why, like, I like Damian Priest a lot because I think he's very entertaining and he just gets it. But that I can deal without. Especially, like, why is he arguing with Drew over the leader? You know what I mean?
Yeah, who's not even in the faction.
Exactly.
My problem with Damian Priest just last night, because I love Damian Priest. I loved him in Ring of Honor as Punishment Martinez. Like,
what a name.
Yeah. But my problem with his performance last night was he did nothing memorable. Yeah. I can't tell you a Damian Priest spot last night.
Besides I don't know if you want to go ahead and say it yet, his one spot.
Good.
He teased the cash in with Rhea hauling cheeks down to the ring with the briefcase, trying to cash in on Seth during the match. And then, of course, it gets broken up by, we'll talk about that later.
But
that's it.
But that wasn't a Damian Priest spot. That was a Rhea Ripley spot.
Fair enough.
Damian Priest had nothing there. Like, that was all Rhea Ripley, the real leader of the Judgment Day. Mommy's always on top.
When did it stop being Finn?
I'm pretty sure.
Like, Finn was fighting for the world title. Finn took out the original leader. When did it stop being Finn? I know you could argue Rhea. Just on popularity.
Finn was battling for that title. Rhea Ripley is the most dominant champion in that stable.
That makes sense.
Which one of those 4 guys are going to stand up to Rhea Ripley? None of them.
The surprise entrant.
That's
would be
it.
the only person.
After Priest, we got Sami Zayn.
He's just electric. I mean, that's just what it always is. He does flashy moves, and he sells like he's getting shot.
Sami Zayn, he, like you said with Jey Uso, he gets it. He's a student of the game. He just knows where he is at all times. The one thing that I don't know why it shocked me because it's Chicago, but it kind of like threw me back that the crowd's giving him Uzi chance. And I mean that was last year WarGames when he brought up when he's did Uzi. So
well, now that you mention that, it was cool as heck to see like Jay and Sammy finally get on the same page last year in WarGames, and here they are, just like best friends doing their little secret handshake together in WarGames this year once again.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, but Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Cody all had some camo on their attire in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
Sammy had it in his little logo on the leg. Jimmy had it a lot.
Jay's gear was awesome.
So yeah, I like the Jay's. I said Jimmy, man. Yeah, I like Jay's gear. His was more like hip hop ghetto camo, like very vibrant. Like you're not gonna go hunting with some
like
bright
the
blue.
Streets of Pensacola camo.
Yeah, the mean streets of North Florida.
Like new school style camo. If you want to go to a tattoo reference.
Yeah. After Sami Zayn, we had the only non-member of the Team Judgment Day come out, the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre.
Drew is just explosive for a big guy, but like I don't know what the deal is and what was going on afterwards, but Drew didn't do anything memorable for me last night.
No, he really didn't. He had a couple dominant moves,
like the toss.
Yeah, but he's the biggest guy in the match. He's gonna have those. I guess I've always been a Drew McIntyre fan, but I'm starting to kind of lose interest in him.
Which sucks a lot.
Yeah, he does the same thing over and over again. You just see it coming from a mile away. Yeah. But after Drew came the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
I mean, you could say the same thing for Cody that we've said about other people. He just gets it, and everything he does is crisp, except for his Cody cutter at the end of the match, which I think was more so Finn Balor's fault than Cody's fault.
Yeah. I love seeing Cody in the WarGames match, since his dad invented the WarGames match.
Exactly.
20-something years ago, 30 years ago almost.
That's a long time.
So I love seeing him in it. I know it's not going to happen, but I would kill to see Cody and Dustin in a WarGames match together. Will it happen? More than likely, never.
Now, with the one thing with Cody, what was the purpose of them pulling out the bull rope?
I think it was
him and Seth to do a double clothesline with it. That was it.
Well, I think it was more to pay homage to his dad, the creator of the match.
Fair enough.
But then I think it was kind of to show a little tug of war between him and Seth. A little reminiscing of Hell in a Cell from 2022.
Okay.
And then they said, "Hey, remember this one night we're friends." And then they did a double clothesline, the little low blow with it. Quick spot with the bull rope. Nothing too fancy, nothing too special. Just a little camaraderie between the two of them.
Now, before you go to the final entrant for Judgment Day, can we talk about Michael Cole's comment? Did you write it down?
I did not.
He's like, the last entrant has spent more time in a cell tonight than he ever has outside of WWE or something like that. and it was Dominic entering the match.
Yes, and
I wonder why was it more so as like a Judgment Day parental thing for Dom to not join the match earlier? Because like he has one of the flashier movesets. He's got that Mysterio in him, that lucha style. I wonder why they waited till the end to send him in. Unless
I'm
it
not
was
sure
a
why.
cowardness.
I want to say it was more of a coward thing. They knew that he was going to get the loud boo, and they wanted to counteract the loud boo with the pop that we heard after Damien Priest was going to cash in that Money in the Bank briefcase.
The second return of the night.
The second return of the night. The legend killer. The apex predator. Randy Orton.
Dude, you and I have been talking about it ever since he got announced. Like, Randy might be, maybe, I'm saying top 2, and I don't know who the other one would be. And I know your top 1. Where would you put Randy? Your top 3, probably?
I would say Randy's number 2 for me. And like, it's so close. If it wasn't for like my childhood being old school, like Randy Orton has been like my favorite current wrestler since 05.
Okay. I was
like, ever
young
since
then,
he
so
started.
I wasn't a fan of him, but
like he brought Legacy in 05, I think 06.
Legacy?
Yeah.
It was 08.
Oh wait. So probably before then, I was getting really big on Randy Orton. I was a huge Randy Orton fan by like the time Legacy came in. I mean, that's what started me liking Cody Rhodes. Was, oh wow, he's with Randy. Like, that's awesome.
That's what started it.
That's where my fandom started with Cody Rhodes, was back then.
Mine started with the whole what was it called? What were they calling them? I guess
the Rhodes Scholars.
No, before that. That too. What did they have an official? The Brotherhood. Him and Dustin against the Shield.
That was after the Rhodes Scholars.
Really?
Yes, because yeah,
that led into Stardust.
That led into Stardust. Yes. Yep.
From here to here. You're right. Anyway.
Yeah, Randy Orton came out
jacked as ever.
That man has been eating his Wheaties in his 18 months off.
And his spinach.
Yeah, well, he did. I think he does other spinach, but we won't talk about that. And I wasn't sure if he can hit any more RKOs because he just had a double fusion back surgery.
He hit one.
Oh, he hit 2.
He hit 2. Dom.
He hit 2. He hit Dom first. When we thought that he was going to hit Jey Uso that RKO.
That's right. That's
and
right.
They locked eyes, and he's like, "Hey, you put me out. You put me out."
You really hit JD.
That was the spot of the night, and that is in my top 3 RKOs of all time.
What's 1 and 2?
In no particular order. Curb stomp, Seth Rollins into.
I'm gonna guess the other one.
The RKO.
Evan Bourne.
Yes. So, those are my top 3 RKOs.
I think Curb Stomp is hands down the best one because that actually took like strength and precision, and the fact that they said that they practiced that beforehand and they never hit it, and then they still went for it and they hit it the one time.
No. The height that Seth Rollins got on that thing, like he didn't have gravity at all at that point. Like he was just floating.
Dude.
But with the JD spot, like I think Randy Orton was like, "Oh shit, that actually looked really good." Like he got all hyped, started high-fiving Cody Rhodes. Like, yes, it worked. It was just great to see him back. I love that he let Cody Rhodes get that crossroads and finish the match.
Of course, you wanted the crowd singing Kingdom afterwards. You don't sing Randy's theme.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Chicago was singing I Hear Voices when he came out.
Fair enough.
But that might be... They might have sung a third song that night. You think?
What you mean?
When all the winning team goes in, they climb the top of the cage, and they're celebrating.
Oh, God.
And the logo hits the bottom corner. And then you think it's over.
I cut the show off.
I know you did.
I had you and my buddy Randy text me. I heard bro from you, and I heard Punk from him. And I'm like, I'm in bed. It's past my bedtime. What is going on? I cut it back on, and what do I see?
You see the cult of personality. You see CM Punk sitting crisscross applesauce on the stage like he's Billy Madison talking to Miss Lippy in the first grade, talking about the damn dog and his responsibility and the blue duck, whatever. I'm sorry. Whenever I see CM Punk sit crisscross applesauce on the stage, I go straight to Billy Madison.
That was a
in kindergarten.
I don't remember. I more so remember the Veronica Vaughn parts, but that makes sense too. Okay. Sure anyway, that was an impressive little correlation there.
Yes. Well, I'm a huge Wrestling fan. I'm a huge Adam Sandler fan. So
he is
CM
back.
Punk is back, and I have to say, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Punk. Now I told you like a week after I met you my 3 favorites of all time, and because it's when I grew up watching it, that determines why it's these 3. It was Jeff Hardy, Punk, and Edge, and Jeff Hardy has went off the deep end, and I've just lost all respect, so he's out. And then the bull crap after bull crap after bull crap with Punk. Even though he was an attraction, he got it. He had the mic skills, everything. I was just tired of the drama. Like I hated middle school. I don't want to do it again. And now he's back. And I'm just like, okay, well, he's not the devil in AEW. I know that now.
No, he's not.
That's the only thing that clicked for me.
I will say that he looked better than when he left AEW.
Yes.
He got a new haircut. He looked more jacked than when the whole time he was in AEW.
I agree.
He didn't look like he was begging for change outside the gas station. He no longer looked homeless.
Yeah. And a lot of the way that people combat the salt and pepper look is they just get their hair shorter, and that appears to be what he did.
Yeah. I know for a fact that the WWE locker room is not a high school locker room. There's a lot of respect shown in the WWE locker room.
That's not
if you are not respectful in the WWE locker room, you are not part of the WWE locker room. You change in the hallway.
Yep.
I know Triple H runs a tight ship. He is not going to put up with the antics that he displayed in AEW.
There's no benefit to them. I think Punk needed WWE more than WWE needed Punk, whereas AEW needed Punk at the time. And I would argue I think they still do, despite all his drama.
Absolutely. Triple H is not a CM Punk fanboy. He is a chief content officer, I believe is his title, the CTO.
Yep.
And CM Punk is not going to bully Paul Levesque.
No.
Not going to happen.
He's too well respected.
Yeah. And even if he tried, if Triple H didn't put him in his place, there's a long line of people ages 19 to 80 that work in WWE that would take care of CM Punk for him.
Speaking of that, we have Seth Rollins, who is flipping out after the cameras went off. I don't know if it was for the crowd or if that part was supposed to be still live. Seth seems to be too professional to act this way. But I do think it's a work. And I saw
100.
somebody like break down what he was actually saying, like reading his lips, and I'm like, okay, he was giving Corey Graves and Michael Cole an earful. That's for sure.
I believe what Seth Rollins, I know you're not going to say it, but I will say it. I believe what Seth Rollins said to CM Punk was, fuck you, you piece of shit.
I heard, I'm going to pull it up. You keep talking. I'm pulling it up because I was like, whoa. And I think I might have sent it to you or something.
Seth Rollins is too professional to do this. They had a little back and forth on Twitter. I think Triple H knows that even when the cameras go off, the fans' cameras stay on.
Of course. This is what he said.
All over. Yes.
This is what he said. All I'm saying is he better get the F out of here by the time I get back there, or I'm gonna knock him the F out. Now, I have slight problem with this, and this kind of is just how I am. You probably already know what I'm going to say. I understand going for real factor, but what is the target demographic for WWE?
100%. They target children.
That's why I could live without the vulgarness that AEW throws out there willy-nilly. And I know I live like an 80-year-old man.
I'm going to counter you for a second.
Okay.
That is why that they do not show that on TV.
Oh, of course.
The children aren't on Facebook. The children shouldn't be on Facebook.
They're on Facebook
seeing this. But that's a parental thing, not a WWE thing.
I'm talking about even the kids in attendance. I've always had an issue with that, even at AEW. I'm just like, come on.
But Seth Rollins doing that was definitely a work, because I will guarantee you that if Seth Rollins wanted to break through Michael Cole and Corey Graves, he could.
I don't know. Michael Cole might put up a good fight.
He is undefeated at WrestleMania.
But let's talk about Drew storming out before Punk came out.
Yeah.
I don't. Was he getting out of there because he wasn't part of Judgment Day? There's no need to still be in the ring?
I heard that he stormed to the locker room. He slammed the locker. He put his hoodie on and he left the Allstate Arena.
Now that's hearsay. Can't prove it, of course.
Of course.
I
am not aware of any beef between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk.
Unless it's...
But Drew McIntyre does not air his dirty laundry. Like, you don't see Drew McIntyre doing that ever. Like, his personal life is very personal. But I am not aware of any issues they have had.
The only thing I could think of is the overall lack of respect. Scottish people and Irish people, and particularly like people from the UK and that extended area, seem to be very big on respect. That's the only thing I could think of. Or like some of his friends might have stories of working with Punk, and he's like, no, absolutely not. You got beef with Sheamus, you got beef with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Or them saying that here they are signing Punk in a matter of hours. Because what did they say, he wasn't signed when he went out there?
Well, I don't think anyone's ever really going to know what really happened. All I know is that he showed up at the arena very late. He was secluded to a very small room, very close to Gorilla, and nobody knew that he was there except for Triple H and Nick Khan.
From what I heard, and you can hate him or love him, but I trust what he says for the most part. Sean Ross Sapp was saying that about 2 minutes before the music hit, Triple H took control of production.
Yep.
He told them to cue the copyright logo, which is key for, hey, Jacob turns off the TV because I'm tired. And then it goes. He specifically hit the music himself. That's what
Yes.
I read.
I read that as well. So what I heard was Triple H told the members of the two teams participating in the WarGames match minutes before they left Gorilla position for that match, because he did not want it to be a complete surprise on them when it happened.
Because they would have lost his trust.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure they all understood why it needed to be a secret, because leaks happen.
Of course.
Triple H had a surprise in 2023.
You had the dirt sheets realistically confused. I think maybe 30 minutes beforehand, Sean Ross Sapp tweeted out saying something like, "My opinion has changed." And that might be when he got word that something's going on. I don't know who his connections are, but he tweeted that and didn't follow up until it said CM Punk is back in WWE.
Yeah. And right before we recorded, I sent you a text and said, what if Randy Orton being announced before WarGames would throw everyone off, because they knew there wasn't going to be another surprise entrant? I mean, I just had this feeling, and the professor was right.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think that's really all there is to it. The only thing I don't like is that it overshadowed a really, really good pay-per-view. Even though it was a little boring in the middle, it's still solid matches. It's more of a nitpick on my part.
I hate that it took away from Randy's return, because Randy returning is such a huge deal. A possible career-ending injury. A lot of people didn't think he was coming back.
Did you see
and that all got taken away?
Saying to the crowd as he was walking back?
No.
He was saying 10 more years.
Hey, I'm down. I'm all for it.
Go for it.
The man doesn't age.
No.
He like ages in reverse. Like, he's gonna come out in 10 years wearing a fucking diaper, I guess, and not a Depend diaper, like a baby, like a Pampers, because the man reverse is his age.
Yeah, he's truly a specimen, honestly. Very like, it's impressive.
But overall, it was a good pay-per-view. Like you said, the middle matches were kind of
But I think that's it's a trend with WarGames pay-per-views.
Yeah, it's the same with Royal Rumble. Like, you got your women's Royal Rumble usually first, and then everything in between, whatever. And then you got the men's Royal Rumble. It's whenever you have specialty matches, closing and opening the show is going to happen.
Of course.
Any other thoughts about WarGames?
No, I think we pretty much hit the nail on the head there. Very solid pay-per-view. WarGames was great as always. I didn't watch WarGames growing up. I watched it when it came back in NXT, and it hasn't been a bad one yet. And I think that trend's going to continue, especially when you have them as star-studded as this.
Yeah, no.
You have anything to add?
No, just WarGames is always great. I hope they keep doing it. I can't wait for next year when William Regal says WarGames. And I'm really, really excited to see what happens with Monday Night Raw this week and SmackDown.
Yeah. Punk is confirmed for Raw tonight.
So
is Orton.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be interesting at least. But guys, thank you for tuning in. Follow Jacob, It's Cobb, on all his social media, Instagram, and his YouTube. And don't forget to follow me, PD Savage, on everything: Facebook, Instagram, I have a Twitter, an X is an X. Yeah. Mercari. I don't really do eBay, but follow us right now. Hit subscribe to our channel. We got more coming.
Oh yeah.
And as always, stay savage.